Hi lovelies, this is Blossom, and today I do another tag, this time 15 faves. I think this was by Grün Eule. And yeah, let's just start. So, number 1, favorite color. So I can never decide that, so it's purple and green together, and I love to have those two combined. So I have 2 rooms in my house where I painted the rooms purple and green, and I just love that. Number 2, favorite food. Now, I always think that's a tough one because I don't have like one favorite food. But yeah, what could I say here? I don't know, potatoes. I really do like potatoes a lot, in every form, because you can actually do a lot with potatoes. And then I am a big fan of my own muffins. I do like baking muffins and I really like them, so let's go for that. I should say something a bit more healthy, but you know, I do like muffins. Number 3, favorite cold drink. Yeah, they are quite boring, and I just go with water. I really like drinking water. Just maybe in summer when it's really hot and you drink water, you drink even more water than usual. Sometimes I just add a bit of orange juice, but not much, in the water, just to give it some flavor, but that's it. Number 4, favorite hot drink. Yeah, I would go with tea, I guess. Well, I have always in the morning, the first thing is my cup of coffee, and then during the day I will have my tea. But yeah, I would go with tea. Now, favorite book genre. So I think it's no surprise when I say fantasy here. Yeah, I love fantasy. I especially love high fantasy. But I don't restrict, of course, myself to just one genre. For example, the latest book that I've read was more in the area of folk horror, and that was an amazing book. It was more a novella, and I really loved it. It was from Jasper Bach with Quiet Places, and I really loved that. So I'm still, telling my husband, you have to read that, I want to talk about that with you. Yeah, really enjoyed this book. So, and I want to read more in the genre of folk horror, because that really interests me. Yeah, well, for the rest, it's not about the favorite books, it's about the genre. And yeah, we could go in general with fantasy. Now, number 6, favorite non-fiction. Yeah, I really love to read about mythology. I guess I am not the only one. I think there is in the community a tendency towards that. So really love mythology. And then I also really like to read about the earth energies and ley lines and all that kind of stuff. And also, one of my favorite authors when it comes to earth energies and these things would be R.J. Stewart, I think. Of course, as well, there are so many. John Matthews, of course, all those things. So I really read much more of non-fiction than fiction, actually. And then, favorite music genre. So there I would go with metal in general. I really do enjoy metal. But I also listen to a lot of soundtracks. And I also really soundtracks of all different kinds. And I was at a concert of Hans Zimmer Oh, that was amazing. That was mind-blowing, really sitting there and just, wow, just amazing. I loved it. I wish I could go again. So, but I listened to metal since a very young age, and it always stayed with me. And there are so many different genres still in metal. Yeah, you can really choose there. Yeah. Let's go to the next question. Number 8. Favorite female musician. And they have a bit of trouble to really name one, because I actually don't have so many single female musicians that I listen to. The only one that really comes to mind right now is Eivor Palsdottir, and I'm sure many of you know her. I will put a link below. I will put a link for everything below, I think. A beautiful, beautiful clip while she's singing at a cliff, and it's amazing, and her energy is really, really great. Now, number 9, favorite male musician, and there I would go with Ayreon. So this would come from the metal scene, but if you think like dark or heavy or anything, think again, because that's not the case at all. Let me show you something. Okay, this is what I mean, Ayreon, and this album is a concept album, The Human Equation, and it is just amazing, because, as I say, it is a concept album, Theatre Occasion. There was a play. They made it into a musical, more or less. So it is about a guy who has an accident, and he falls into a coma, and then he feels all those different emotions, and all those emotions start singing. So, well, it is a very emotional album, and always when I listen to it, it's very weird. But yeah, as I say here, Ayreon, and he is a single musician who brings together many musicians to work on his concept albums, and I love it. So even if metal is not your thing, I will put a link below so that you could check it out if you would like to. So he would go there then, I think. Then, favorite band. Well, I'm sorry, I can't say one band. So let's go with Ayreon. It's really one of my favorites. And then Blind Guardian would be another one. And I talked about it already in the OM, because Blind Guardian and OM goes together really well. So here is another album. I like to have special editions. Beyond the Red Mirror. That is an amazing album, and yeah, so as you can see, it seems like the Ninth Rave, and it just, oopsie, sorry, this song Miracle Machine, that is so soft. For everybody who does not like metal, listen to that, because it's so amazing. I will put a link for that below, because that's really great. You're missing out on something if you don't listen to that. So Blind Guardian would be one. Ayreon, I said. Sabotage is another one. That's like, I think, the first metal band that I've ever heard, and I still listen to this band till this day, even if it does not exist anymore as Sabotage. But John Oliver has his own band, and they still play their songs on concerts, so that's great. Another one is Iced Earth. I like them since, I think, more or less the same age. Really love them. Evergrey is another one. What else? In Flames. So there's too many bands. And another one would be, when we go into a different genre, would be Faun, but their earlier work. So I'm not the biggest fan of what they do since the last 3 albums. I really love their earlier albums. So you can check that out if you want. Faun. And well, yeah, in that Subway to Sally. So I don't know really, but those are both German bands actually. So maybe you haven't heard of them. Yeah, so many bands. Sorry about that. Favorite actor. This again, something I cannot choose one. But the first that comes in mind is Ian McKellen. He is just an amazing and outstanding actor, because the only reason I wanted to go and watch Beauty and the Beast was because he played the clock. And even though I really love it, but normally I'm a bit more skeptical when it comes to, you know, when they try to do something. I do really enjoy this movie. It was actually a great movie. But my first reason was just because he was the Clocksworth, is it? And yeah, even just, you know, listening in the trailer to him, it always brings something up in me. I don't know. Even when you watch like the Pupil, he plays a Nazi there, and at the end you feel so sorry for him, you know, which shouldn't be the case. But he's really such a great actor. So that is somebody that I really like. 2 other actors would be Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. I really love this combination of those two together in Sherlock, in the series. That is just fantastic. And while we are at Sherlock, Andrew Scott is also, I think, a great actor. And I really liked him in the Sherlock series, but that I became really aware, or more aware of him, was we went to a convention and he had a panel there. And I don't go to conventions to see the stars, you know. I don't care so much about that. I go mostly for lectures. So this makes me a nerd in the world of nerds. I don't know really. I really don't actually go for the stars. But we had time, and so we went to his panel. And when you see him in Sherlock and then you see him in the panel, he is actually really this very shy and introverted guy, and he was amazing and so kind. And I really liked him there. Yeah, and then for Benedict Cumberbatch, he played Smaug, so what else can I say? Smaug and Sherlock, he's so fantastic in it. But I was disappointed one time. I went to see the Marvel movie Doctor Strange. And the only reason I went there, normally I don't watch Marvel movies, because that's really not my thing. But I thought, oh, well, the trailer was kind of cool, and I thought, yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch, maybe he will, you know, save the movie, whatever. But at the end of the movie, I was so angry. I was angry at the movie, and I was angry that I spent time there and money, and it was the first time that I really got so angry at a movie for watching a movie. No. Yeah, and there are so many others, because as soon as you start with me with movies and well, not actors really, but movies, there could talk too long, so I will cut myself short here. Then number 12, favorite pastime. There are so many things. So I really love to read, that's for sure. Also writing, I love writing. don't take enough time for it, but I love doing it. Then I also really like sewing, so I make a lot of costumes for myself, mostly medieval. Right now I'm trying to make something steampunky. I don't know how that will work out because it's kind of a challenge. I've never learned sewing. It's all learning by doing, and I do a lot of mistakes. But I love doing it because I am actually, well, I'm so bad at it. I'm not really that bad because at the end there is something wearable. You know, something comes out of it. But I have to do that very slowly and very focused. And I'm so, yeah, it really slows me down in a way, which is good. What else do I do? Gardening is one of the things, but now that's over at the moment. Going on little adventures, really important for me. That is, you know, as soon as I have a day off, I have to go on an adventure. Of course, spending time with my dogs, going on walks. When the season is on, visiting medieval markets, stuff like that. That really, I really love that. And then, of course, movies. Movies is a big thing in this household. So when I say I watch movies, I should correct myself and say I celebrate movies. I was always interested in movies. Since I am a little child, since I was a little child, I had a camera. It was my grandfather's camera, but I could use it. And I myself always made little movies and stuff like that. Still do, you know, I love doing short movies, longer ones, but as soon as you have too many people in it, it gets, and it's a lot of work, and that's difficult. But movies, however, movies are celebrated here in this household. And we have movie nights by theme, and we have not only movie nights but movie weekends or movie weeks. And then everything has to be in the same theme. So let's say the next round of movies we are going to do is Sleepy Hollow, From Hell, Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, I have to say, Frankenstein, and so on. So you see, it's all a theme, and when there is a theme, we have to, the food has to be right, or the drinks. So in this case, it could be absinthe or something like that. Or the last time I mentioned that my brother made fun of us because I talked to them that we missed the Planet of the Apes in the cinema, and I said, well, it doesn't matter, when we have the 3 DVDs, we will make a movie night or a movie weekend out of it. And because he knows that we celebrate this a bit, he laughed and, oh, how do you celebrate that? With bananas and banana bread and banana muffins and banana splits. And yeah, well, it's quite possible that this will happen here. You never know, I really like to celebrate this stuff. When I watch, like, let's say, I have to admit, I love the Tinkerbell movies, even if it's very cutesy fairy. I love them. So in this case, I would make very sweet, cute little muffins or whatever with little flowers on it. And we all had that here already, It's not a big thing. So movies definitely are celebrated here. And this is a big part of my pastime in the evenings. Or if, Lord of the Rings marathons, that's a thing, twice a year. Since many, many years. And now with the Hobbits, it's 2 full days. Now, the next question is 13, favorite animal. And I cannot tell you what my favorite animal is. I love them all, except for spiders and insects. Let's say I don't hate them, I just tolerate them, but just because I kind of have to tolerate them. I actually don't want to. But for the rest, I love all animals for their differences, and you know, I cannot pick one. Honestly, I can't. Then, favorite sandwich. I think this question is a bit odd, but okay. I don't know really what I can say there. So you have to know I don't eat meat. I avoid cheese. So sandwiches are maybe a bit boring. But what I really love is, some of you may know already that I grow my own tomatoes. And when the tomatoes are ripe, and you take a tomato and you put it on your sandwich, and just your own tomato on the sandwich, and then, that is so fantastic. I love that. You know, during tomato season, that's all I eat, tomato sandwiches actually. But I really like that in general. I do it as well when my own tomato season is over, but you know, it's not the same thing. But I really like that. Just a bit of salad and a few tomatoes, and that is actually a sandwich that I really like. And then the last question, number 15, favorite day trip. There's so much. So I just like to be out in nature. That's key here. And then I like to visit standing stones, burial mounds, stone circles, where I can douse and, you know, work with the energy there. I just love that stuff, and just breathing in the fresh air, and then also visiting old castles is something that I really do enjoy. I do that more often than anybody else that I know. Something else I really like is going to lost places. I really enjoy that. It's kind of hard to figure out where all those places are, and then it's sometimes hard to get in, to be honest. But sometimes we are lucky, and then we visit lost. I don't go alone because, you know, actually I'm always scared. We were once in an old abandoned children's home, and that was so creepy, I tell you. It was huge, it was really big. And of course we heard noises all the time, and it was so creepy. And you still could go up, but I was too scared to go up because of the noises everywhere. And the last lost place I visited wasn't that creepy, but still, it's always a bit weird, you know, if you go into an abandoned house or anything like that. I find it always a bit creepy, to be honest. So I don't go alone to these places, but I really do enjoy it. I really enjoy just to take photos there and see what you can find. Sometimes it's really interesting stuff, sometimes really not. So that's something else that I really enjoy to do. Yeah, another day trip. So let's say the weather is really bad, you can't go anything like that. Then it would be actually really visiting a museum. I like that. A lot of museums are kind of, you know, you always think a bit boring, but the last museums that I've personally visited were always really kind of fun. It's mostly, you know, to attract children, but that's what I am, a big child, so I really enjoy that. Or when the weather is good again, just having a picnic outside, it's already great. And as I mentioned before already, with pastime, you know, going to medieval markets, then we have everywhere, a bit further away where I live, well, twice a year we have something like a steampunk convention. I'm not really steampunky, but I do enjoy these things to go there, and because those people are so creative with their costumes, and that actually inspired me to do one on my own, or at least try. They're just major talents there around, you know, and not only with their costumes, but what they invent, and when they put together their own machines, it's just amazing. So I enjoy everything what is fun. And that's it. Yeah, that were the 15 questions. I hope I answered them all and I didn't forget anything, because I didn't keep it short again. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Much love and blessings, and bye bye.